All right, and our final review video for 9-2. We are asked to graph f of x equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. So we know a lot of information about how we, by doing math, not going straight to a graphing calculator, how we can actually graph this quadratic function by hand, which is really important. So we know this is in standard form. In standard form, we can find the axis of symmetry. From there, we can find the vertex of the parabola. We can also find the y-intercept. And now we can find roots or solutions. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking for today. Now, axis of symmetry, if you remember, is x equals negative b over 2a. Well, let's define our a, b, and c terms. So our a term is 1, right? There's 1 in front of x squared. Our b term is negative 2, and our c term is negative 8. So here I have negative b over 2a, negative 2 over 2 times 1. Those negatives are going to cancel, so I'll have 2 over 2. Or 1. So my axis of symmetry is at x equals 1, okay? That's going to be that line that can fold our parabola right in half. Now, we can use this information to figure out our vertex. We know our vertex is going to be at 1, and now we just need to figure out, well, what is that value? So for the vertex, we're going to solve the function of 1. So when x is 1, we have 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8. F of 1 equals 1 minus 2 minus 8. And that is negative 9. F of 1 is negative 9. So we're also going to have a point at 1, negative 9. That's going to be our turning point, our vertex. Okay? Now, our y-intercept, well, that is 0, c. Right? So that is just going to be 0, negative 8. So along the y-axis, we're going to have a point down at negative 8. And then our roots are going to take a little bit longer to find. Okay? And this is the work for our roots. When we're solving for roots, yes, we're going to have f of x equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. But we know f of x has to be 0. Not x, f of x. Our y value has to be 0. So we need to make this equation now. 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. And now we can solve by factoring. So 0 equals, I have 1x squared, so I know it's going to be x times x, right? X and x. Two numbers that multiply to negative 8, but add to negative 2 would be negative 4 and positive 2. And then we can go ahead and set up our little t-chart. X minus 4 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. And I add 4. So one of my solutions or roots will be at 4 when x equals 4. And the other one will be at negative 2. So our roots now are at when x is, I don't want to write 4, I like to do it smallest. When x is negative 2, y is 0, and when x is 4, y is 0. So we can go ahead and sketch this out, right? So we have 1, negative 9, 0, negative 8, negative 2, 0, 4. So we're kind of in the negatives here. I'm going to make our negatives a little bit bigger. And I'll count by 2's. So 2, 4, 6, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8, negative 10. And same thing, I'm just going to eyeball it. 2, 4, 6, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. So I have a vertex at 1, negative 9, 1, negative 9. That's my vertex. Okay, 1, negative 9, 1, negative 9, right there. My y-intercept is at 0, negative 8, 0, -8. Again, this is just a little sketch, right? 0, -8, right there. And then I have roots at -2, 0, and 4, 0, right there. -2, 0, and 4, 0. Now, technically, we always want 5 points. We know our axis of symmetry is down this line. X equals 1. There's one more point I can plot. We have our 2 roots, we have our vertex. We can mirror our y-intercept to the other side. So if this is 0, we have a point at 1. That means our next point will be at 2, -8, right there. And then we can go ahead and connect our points to create our quadratic. Make sure you have arrows on the end. That tells us that the quadratic goes on and on and on, and that your points are labeled either by highlighter. Whoops, did not highlight that for you all. Highlighter, color-coded, pointed to, anything like that, just so I know what your work is and where I can see that work on your graph. All right, good luck with 9-2 quiz. Have fun.